Here, we are looking at a fast in the sense of personal discipline and self-denial. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25 to 27. This Paul writes, says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertain, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. But I keep under my body and bring it unto subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. When we need to guard against personal excesses and even dealing with addictions. There are some addictions that are not easily known as addictions. But sometimes when you are eating too much, it's an addiction. Every small thing, the next thing you want to reach out for is food. It's an addiction. It's a time to fast. When you discover that you are unable to control yourself, the Spirit of God cannot even control you. You need to bring your body under subjection. You fast. You need to abstain for some time and wait upon the Lord, lest you become a castaway. In Matthew chapter 16, the Lord Jesus made it absolutely clear concerning us and how we are to conduct ourselves vis-a-vis the world and the things of the world. In Matthew 16, 24 to 26, it says, then said the Lord unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever shall save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? In Luke chapter 14, 25 to 27. Luke 14, 25 to 27. And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and saith unto them, if any man come to me, and hate not his father and mother, and wife and children, and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whosoever doth not bear his cross, and come after me, cannot be my disciple. I think I told you, I've mentioned this before. This matter of bearing our cross is not say my cross is a challenge. No. Your cross is your self-denial. The Lord Jesus had the right to live. He had the right to life. But because of the sins of the world, he gave himself onto that cross. There are many things that we can enjoy. But for the sake of the gospel, we deny ourselves those things. That's what he's talking about here. And you can imagine in Luke chapter 14, where he made that statement. It was where there was a crowd. You would have expected him to mellow the tone. But he was telling that crowd, you guys just keep coming. If you cannot drop these things you are looking for from me and carry your cross, you cannot be my disciple. Another way of looking at the cross is what I call a death sentence. In those days, when you see a man carrying a cross, you see a man that is going to execution ground. So the Lord is saying, you must bear in mind that you are going to be killed for the sake of the gospel. That is to bear the cross. But when we seek to avoid persecution, when we seek to avoid suffering, then we are denying the cross rather than carrying the cross. In 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 5, the Bible speaks about husbands and wives. It says, defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. So even a husband and a wife must take a break from themselves and fast, either individually or corporately. But they must fast. It cannot be honeymoon every time from morning till night. You need time to wait upon the Lord. You need to get into personal discipline Self-denial. Deny yourself of certain pleasures. When you come to realization that there are excesses in my life. Excessive pleasure, excessive outing, excessive eating, excessive, some of us drink coffee excessively, and so many other things like that. Once it becomes an addiction, and in excess is an addiction, you need to go and fast to break that addiction. There's no need to fast and then come back to the addiction. You need to fast to break the addiction. That's the essence here. So that you do not become a cast away. After you have preached the gospel, you yourself are now found wanting.